So to add on to that, how did you discover your inner confidence, and what ultimately led you to speaking and becoming a spokesperson?
I think confidence is not a it goes up and down.
Yeah.
We all go through moments where we feel confident and where we don't. So the initial, jump in confidence would have been like when I went to Australia for university. So when I moved over to Australia for university, I wasn't viewed as the big girl. I was just a normal built, average size girl. And when you're surrounded by people like that who accept you for exactly who you are, your confidence naturally just goes up. And then coming back to Thailand, I was automatically back to being, the tall big girl. I couldn't find anything in my size. I didn't see anyone my size represented in the media, which led me to how I kind of came about with being a spokesperson for what I talk about, because I saw that there was a gap in the Thai culture about these things. And we've been ingrained since we were younger that, if you're skinny, you're white, you're tall, you're automatically pretty, clear skin, all that kind of stuff. But there was no one that talked about those girls or those guys that were naturally bigger built. And with that, it kind of just developed into like, why don't I just speak about this? Why don't I try to push for this?
I totally agree that these stereotypes are rather deeply entrenched in our society, and we should find a way to sort of dismantle this and discuss it with others.
So I've researched about your life and also found out that you were a study major in sociology at the University of Australia. So I would like to ask what inspired or made you decide to major in that?
Well, my dad always told me growing up that, the fundamental thing that will never change about society is the fact that we will still have people. We'll still have humans. We still need to interact with each other, and we still need a community and a society. So going into it, I was never good at numbers. That was something I knew I couldn't go into, like finance, accounting, I couldn't do that. And I was always a people person. I've always been good at talking to people, and I enjoyed it. So it just made sense that I went into something that I knew there was a need for in the future, and something I knew that I could excel at. And also, I didn't have much of a choice. Your parents tell you what to do when you're that age.
So where do you think the criticisms that you've received regarding your body stems from, and what are ways to mitigate insecurities that are set by unattainable beauty standards?
I think it stems from the fact that I'm different. I kind of came in really quickly and really loudly that it forced people to have to listen to me. And when it comes to that, when it comes to a gap in representation especially, and there's always going to be disagreement when something needs to be changed. If there was no need for change, no one would be talking about it, no one would be disagreeing with it. And because it was such a new concept in Thailand, and it was like almost an attack to the culture in a way, you're going to receive a lot of criticism for it. Sorry, what was the second part of your question?
What are ways to mitigate, solutions?
For me, the solution I thought of initially was it had to start with representation. You guys are at an age where social media is so big, right? You're living essentially through the lens of a photo. And it's so easy for everything to get ingrained in your head where all you see are skinny or, muscular, whatever it be, unrealistic expectations. So I wanted to come in and represent something that was more real. So my photos that I would post would be organic. I'd never edited them in the sense of I'd never squeeze my body. I'd never make myself look skinnier than I actually am. And through that, you start to show people the realness, the authenticity, the organicness of being human. But then you reach a point where you're like, okay, you just have to set your own standard. If I'm comfortable in my own body, if I still feel confident in my own body, then that's it. That's no one else's business.
I totally agree with you. We should celebrate authenticity, and also diversity as well. So something different in society may be overlooked and criticized, but I think it is important for us to bridge the generational gap and to lead by example as